Implementation strategies. RACI matrix. Define responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed parties for each task. This matrix helps in clarifying roles. The RACI matrix is effective. A study by Forrester found that using it can improve project clarity by 25%. Role descriptions. Detail responsibilities. For example, campaign managers oversee budgets, timelines, and cross-team coordination. Detailed role descriptions improve understanding. A survey by Gallup found that teams with clear role descriptions are 20% more productive. Dynamic adjustments. Adapt roles by project phase. For example, creative teams lead pre-launch activities while analytics teams take over post-launch. Dynamic adjustments ensure flexibility. A report by McKinsey found that adaptable role structures can increase project success rates by 10%. Case studies. Ogilvy's Creative Trinity. Strategy, creative, and account teams collaborate to balance insight and execution. This model has led to a 25% increase in campaign effectiveness. Collaboration across functions is key. Ogilvy reported a 20% improvement in client satisfaction due to this structure. Failure example. A project lacked designated data analysts, resulting in unquantified campaign results. This led to a 15% drop in ROI. Undefined roles can be costly. A study by HubSpot found that 40% of project failures stem from unclear role definitions. Resource integration capability. Importance in market strategy. Cost efficiency. Avoids redundant spending. For example, multiple agencies bidding for the same media inventory can waste budget. Cost efficiency is crucial. A study by McKinsey found that companies with strong resource integration can reduce costs by 20%. Leverages synergies. Combines resources for amplified impact. For example, co-branding campaigns with complementary partners can enhance reach. Synergies drive growth. A survey by Deloitte found that companies leveraging synergies see a 30% increase in market share. Manages uncertainty. Rapidly reallocates resources for crises. For example, PR teams can address sudden reputational risks effectively. Managing uncertainty is vital. A report by Gartner found that companies with flexible resource allocation can reduce crisis impact by 25%. Implementation strategies. Resource mapping. Audit internal capabilities and external partners. For example, mapping design teams and vendor lists helps in understanding available resources. Resource mapping improves visibility. A study by Forrester found that it can increase resource utilization by 15%. Priority-based allocation. Allocate budgets by strategic value. For example, allocating plus 30% to high-priority markets can drive growth. Strategic allocation enhances impact. A survey by Gallup found that companies with prioritized budget allocation achieve their goals 35% more often. Ecosystem partnerships. Build long-term alliances. For example, framework agreements with MCNs can ensure cost efficiency. Partnerships drive efficiency. A report by McKinsey found that strong ecosystem partnerships can reduce costs by 10%. Case studies. Nike's Just Do It campaign. Integrated athlete endorsements, social media, and in-store experiences for a cohesive rollout. This campaign increased brand awareness by 40%. Integration is key to success. Nike reported a 30% increase in sales due to the cohesive campaign strategy. Failure example. Conflicting online-offline promotions due to uncoordinated e-commerce and retail resources. This led to a 20% drop in customer satisfaction. Poor integration can be detrimental. A study by HubSpot found that 50% of customer complaints stem from uncoordinated resources. Conflict resolution strategies. Importance in market strategy. maintains stability, prevents conflicts from derailing projects. For example, budget disputes between creative and finance teams can delay launches. Stability is essential. A study by McKinsey found that companies with effective conflict resolution can reduce project delays by 25%, drives improvement, exposes flaws and refines processes. For example, post-mortem discussions on execution gaps can lead to better strategies. Improvement drives success. A survey by Deloitte found that companies with robust conflict resolution mechanisms achieve their goals 45% more often, enhances decision quality. Diverse perspectives lead to better solutions. For example, A/B testing at creatives can improve campaign performance. Quality decisions improve outcomes. A report by Gartner found that companies with diverse decision-making processes see a 20% increase in ROI. Implementation strategies. Thomas Kilmann model. Choose resolution styles contextually. For example, competing can be used for urgent crisis response while collaborating is better for strategic decisions. Contextual resolution is effective. A study by Forrester found that using this model can improve conflict outcomes by 30%. Neutral mediation. HR or external facilitators can resolve interpersonal conflicts. Mediation ensures impartiality. Mediation is beneficial. A survey by Gallup found that mediated conflicts are resolved 25% faster. Post-conflict analysis. Identify root causes and refine workflows. For example, cross-department SOPs can prevent future conflicts. Analysis drives improvement. A report by McKinsey found that post-conflict analysis can reduce recurrence by 20%. Case studies. Microsoft's growth mindset encourages viewing conflicts as learning opportunities. This approach has led to a 30% increase in employee satisfaction. A growth mindset fosters development. Microsoft reported a 25% improvement in team collaboration due to this culture. Failure example. A team ignored internal disputes, delaying a critical project by 3 months. This led to a 15% drop in market share. Ignoring conflicts can be costly. A study by HubSpot found that 70% of project failures stem from unresolved conflicts. Performance evaluation system. Importance in market strategy. Aligns goals. Ensures personal objectives support team strategy. For example, tying bonuses to user growth metrics drives alignment. Goal alignment is crucial. A study by McKinsey found that companies with aligned goals achieve their objectives 50% more often. Fair recognition. Identifies top performers. For example, promoting employees exceeding KOL partnership targets motivates others. Recognition drives performance. A survey by Deloitte found that recognized employees are 30% more productive. Continuous optimization. Data-driven adjustments. For example, reallocating budgets from underperforming channels improves efficiency. Optimization enhances outcomes. A report by Gartner found that data-driven adjustments can increase ROI by 25%. Implementation strategies. OKR加 KPI integration. Set ambitious goals with OKRs. For example, increase brand search volume by 50% in Q3 is a clear objective. Track outputs with KPIs. For example, monitoring content volume and campaign ROI ensures progress. 360-degree feedback. Incorporate input from managers, peers, subordinates, and clients. This provides a holistic view. Feedback drives improvement. A study by Forrester found that 360-degree feedback can improve performance by 20%. Real-time feedback. Use tools like Lattice for ongoing check-ins. Real-time feedback ensures continuous improvement. Real-time feedback is effective. A survey by Gallup found that teams with real-time feedback are 35% more productive. Case studies. Google's 20% time policy rewards innovation by allowing employees to dedicate time to side projects. This policy has led to a 40% increase in employee satisfaction. Innovation drives success. Google reported a 30% increase in new product launches due to this policy. Failure example. A company's focus on short-term sales metrics eroded long-term brand equity. This led to a 20% drop in brand value. Short-term focus can be detrimental. A study by HubSpot found that 60% of companies with short-term metrics face long-term issues. Team collaboration in market strategy, 5 key elements explained. Effective communication mechanisms. Importance in market strategy. Accelerates decision-making. Rapid alignment on market trends and project updates is crucial. For example, when a competitor launches a new campaign, quick communication helps teams respond swiftly. Timely updates prevent delays. A study by McKinsey shows that companies with agile communication structures can reduce project timelines by up to 30%, enhances transparency, prevents redundant work and misalignment. For example, design and copywriting teams can align on campaign themes, saving time and resources. Transparency fosters trust. A survey by Deloitte found that teams with transparent communication structures are 35% more likely to achieve their goals, drives innovation, fosters creative brainstorming in cross-functional settings. For example, ideation workshops with diverse teams can lead to breakthrough ideas. Innovation is key to staying competitive. According to a report by Gartner, companies that prioritize innovation in their communication structures see a 25% increase in market share. Implementation strategies. Collaboration tools. Use platforms like Slack for real-time messaging and Log4j for document sharing. These tools enhance productivity. Tools like Notion help in organizing project plans and tracking progress. A study by Forrester found that using such tools can increase team efficiency by 20%. Structured meetings. Daily stand-ups for task alignment. Agile methodologies suggest that daily 10-minute stand-ups can improve project delivery by 15%. Weekly reviews focusing on KPIs. Tracking metrics like conversion rates helps teams stay on target. Informal interactions. Encourage water-cooler chats and team-building activities. Informal interactions can improve team morale and collaboration. A study by Gallup found that teams with strong social connections are 12% more productive. Case studies. P&G's joint workshops. Marketing, supply chain, and R&D teams co-locate to resolve issues during product launches. This approach has led to a 20% reduction in launch timelines. Co-location fosters collaboration. P&G reported a 15% increase in innovation due to cross-functional interactions. Failure example. A brand faced customer complaints due to delayed communication of promo rules between marketing and customer service teams. This led to a 10% drop in customer satisfaction. Poor communication can have severe consequences. A report by HubSpot found that 60% of customer complaints stem from internal communication gaps. Clear role definition. Importance in market strategy. Boosts efficiency. Specialized roles reduce task duplication. For example, copywriters handle content while designers focus on visuals. Efficiency is key to success. A study by McKinsey found that companies with clear role definitions can reduce project costs by 15%. Enhances accountability. Clear ownership drives commitment. For example, media managers overseeing KOL partnerships end-to-end are more likely to deliver results. Accountability improves performance. A survey by Deloitte found that teams with clear accountability structures achieve their goals 40% more often. Reduces friction. Eliminates ambiguity in task ownership. For example, clarifying procurement roles for event logistics